when I think about a meaningful life, I realize that what has been meaningful for me is having 3 guideposts that I follow in my life. And they have helped me create meaning and helped me create really a rich life. 2 of them were given to me by my parents, and 1 was given to me just through life, which life tends to do. And so the first guidepost was my mother was Southern. She was a great beauty. She always wore white gloves, and she told me to be kind. She said it was the most important thing for me to learn was to be kind. Now, she was thinking a lot about being polite and a lot about, taking other people's feelings into account, which is all good. I sort of, branched out a little bit, and I looked around my world, and I saw things that I didn't think were kind, the way black people were treated, the way women were treated, the way workers were treated. And so I decided to take her advice and be an activist and try and change these things. So I'm not sure it's what she had in mind for me, but that's how I used that one. So when I was 7, my dad, in a very sort of somber voice, invited me into the den/library in our house. And he said, I have something to share with you. I think it's really important. I want you to listen to it and take it to heart. And I think it'll help you have a good life if you do that. I said, well, okay. Remember, I was 7, right? Okay. So he says, it's from Shakespeare, and to thine own self be true. So I said, okay. And he says, well, what that means is to listen to your heart. And whenever you have some doubts or you're not sure about, what to do, to listen to your heart, because the truest answer will come from you for you. So I took that to heart, but again, I was 7, right? So I'm thinking, how am I going to apply this? Well, I always have that decision between the Clark Bar and the Fifth Avenue Bar at the People's Drug Store. Maybe I'll try it out there. So actually, a little later, when I registered to vote, I registered for Democrat, and I went home. My parents said, how'd it go? I said, great, I registered as a Democrat. And they were like, what? And then my mother said, we didn't raise you to be a Democrat. I looked at my father, and I said, well, I listened to my heart, and my heart told me to be a Democrat. So when I turned 40, my dad gave each of my 2 sisters and myself a gift of money. And I was so excited because I never had much money in my life. And my older sister put in the bank, my middle sister paid bills, and I went to Cuba for a month. It was so great. It was fun. When I came back, he said, next year there will be travel restrictions. So the third, and I was going to say also that what brought me to Baltimore was my heart. And I'm so glad it brought me to Baltimore because I fell in love with a magic man. Ooh, let me try and get through this. Sorry. A magic man who was an artist, a feminist, and a Marxist who could dance. So I was like, how could I resist him? And I followed him to Baltimore, and I had 23 years of absolute happiness. And it's only a week block from here, so it's at the cork factory, so it's really wonderful. So the last guidepost came from life. I was 18, I was engaged, I had just graduated from high school, and my fiance's family was moving to Bangkok, Thailand, and they invited me to go. And I said, with nary a thought about what that might really mean, terrific, yeah, I'll go. And my dad said, okay, and he started pulling all the maps out of the library. My mother immediately teared up and thought of all the horrible things that will happen to me. I got on the plane, and that's it. And I didn't really think about it till the plane ride, my first. And it was really a long, long, long plane ride. And I began to think, wow, I am going to be pretty far away from my family. So that's like the first sort of discomfort. And then we get there, we get off on the tarmac, and the heat is unbelievable. Then we're handed leis of gardenias, which I really thought was great. And they smelled great, and then I realized it's because we need them, because the smells in Bangkok at this time were so pungent and so strong and so overwhelming. There were slabs of water buffalo hanging up, drying in the sun, public urination, that everybody had gardenias, including the taxi cab drivers, and everybody was walking around like this, Then we get to the house, and it's a great house. It's a big house, much bigger than I've ever lived in. And we're introduced to our 6 servants. Now I am really uncomfortable. And we're all exhausted, so we go up to take a nap. And I'm trying to nap, and something is falling on my bed. There's this like kerplunk, kerplunk. And I'm like, what is this? So I get out of bed, and I look, and it's little lizards. And I later learned that they live on the ceiling, and they eat the bad bugs, and that's a good thing. But if they eat too many bad bugs, then they fall. So I was like, oh no. So then I couldn't sleep, just imagining this, and I look out and I see Udam, our gardener, and he's shooing something out of the yard. And I go out on the porch, and it is a 6-foot python. And I'm just like, whoa, heretofore only seen in a zoo. I was like, it's in my yard, really? So anyhow, Thailand was great. It was really uncomfortable, but it was terrific. I learned to, I was able to do a guidebook to the Temple of the Emerald Buddha. I got a job. I learned enough Thai to work the black market to get tuna fish and peanut butter, which I dearly miss. And I just want to say something quick. So, that guidepost is all about getting out of your comfort zone and saying yes. And so I said yes. I still try and say yes. And I said yes tonight. And I'm comfortable. And I'm glad you all came. And my time is up. So for death, to be continued.